No, what I'm trying to say is, after I put it in my mouth, that's when I realized that she had gonorrhea. And, oh, Mom, I gotta go.
Hey there. Glad you could stop by. I didn't see you walk in. So, I've been thinking a lot about Path of Exile 2, like many other people have. And I've played it, got about 20 hours in so far. Not, kind of lightweight. But I think I can give some first impressions here. So, why don't you come on in, have a seat, and let's talk some Path of Exile 2. I'm loving it so far. I think that it's a big change from what we're used to. And one of the main things I want to point out is just the beautiful graphics. You can probably see on my gameplay loop that's playing. My computer's not quite up to snuff with running it, but it's playable. I'm enjoying it. I've also been playing it a lot on the Steam Deck, which also it's not that great, but it's doable. The unique character screen I thought was fantastic. The way you select your characters, I think that's a really cool, unique way. Like the other ones get hung and your guy escapes. I think that's pretty creative. So far I've been playing as the witch, minion witch, with a little bit of fire spells. I'm still not quite sure which direction I'm going to go with it. But, so a lot of my critiques here are going to be from that standpoint. Also, I use the controller more so than I do with the mouse and keyboard. So please, keep that in mind when I make my case here. So, one thing that I really do like, though, is that you do have the option for controller, WASD, and for the mouse and keyboard. I think that's a really, really neat thing. However, I really wish that you would be able to switch from one to the other on the fly. So that way you can, if you want to use your keyboard, just start typing on your keyboard. If you want to go back to your controller, because you can do that in Diablo, and I was kind of hoping that would be the case here, but maybe they're going to add that at some point. And another thing here is that whenever I'm attacking in combat, I feel like that my spells are delayed. I don't know if anyone else has been noticing this, but I'll try to say, like, cast Fireball. Your guy will just not cast Fireball. You have to spam the button, then they'll finally do it. Now, I don't know if that's a lag issue, or if that's something that it's part of the difficulty. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm spamming my spells too fast, and who knows? But I just feel like that's not as responsive as it was in Path of Exile 1. The other thing that I wanted to mention too was the combat is very slow compared to Path of Exile 1, which, I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, but I end up getting bored and frustrated with how spongy the trash enemies are. The slowness of the monster kills, it not only does it feel like a drag, but it also slows down the character progression, which in turn feels like I'm just wasting my time. The enemies are unique, which is really cool. The slow nature of the combat allows me to kind of experience the monster mechanics more so than you would in Path of Exile 1 or in, like, Diablo. Generally, in those games, you just run around and just kill everything. You don't really think about it too much. In Path of Exile 2, though, since they are so slow and spongy and yada yada yada, I am noticing all the little unique things that each of the trash monsters do, which that's a plus. But yeah, I do find it getting a little frustrating, though, having to just sit in one spot fighting monsters for minutes instead of seconds, which again, maybe that's just a minor gripe, but that does bother me. It's annoying. The other thing too is the dodge roll. I think the dodge roll is really neat feature. Feels a little Elden Ring-like to me, which I noticed that they took some inspiration from the Souls-like genre, and I think the dodge roll is a good one to take. However, they took some others from the Souls-like genre that I'm not a fan of, but I'll get to that in a second. The dodge roll, I feel like, as cool as it is, I feel like we have to rely on it a little too much, especially during like a boss encounter. I feel like I'm spending most of my fight just dodging and running around in a circle, trying to avoid one-hit mechanics, because almost everything on the boss encounter, you get hit once, you're dead. So it feels just like a Souls-like. So all I'm doing is just dodging and putting in spells whenever I can, at least when my controller recognizes I'm trying to tell it to shoot a spell. So that gets a little annoying. I also really wish that the dodge roll would allow us to clip through enemies when we get surrounded. Just when you're fighting a bunch of trash mobs, I found myself getting surrounded from time to time, and once that happens, you're just dead. You can't dodge roll out of it. There's nothing you can do. The next thing I wanted to mention too is death and difficulty. The difficulty is frustratingly fun. That's the best way for me to describe it. Frustratingly fun. It feels like, as I said, like Elden Ring. And some of the things that they took from Elden Ring, such as the dodge roll, but it's also when you die, you get to checkpoints around the map and also before boss encounters. When you die, all the trash mobs, you just spent so much time trying to clear them all, they respawn. And you have to go through all of that again. And like I was saying before, it's like it's slowing down your progression so much because it takes forever to kill them. And maybe I just have a bad build, but I've noticed other people complaining about this too. And I understand, get good, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But that's frustrating. In Path of Exile 1, you die, you lose experience. And in this, it doesn't appear that we're losing experience when we die, which that's cool. But I almost would rather have us lose experience when we die than have the trash mobs respawn. And that also leads me into the bosses. I hate that they reset after you lose. I remember back in, like in Diablo 2 and also Path of Exile 1. Path of Exile 1 was, inspired by Diablo 2. And that's kind of one of the things that made Path of Exile so great was the people that missed Diablo 2. And after Blizzard drifted away from that formula and went to Diablo 3 and 4, Path of Exile picked up the mantle for that. And now with Path of Exile 2, when you die in a boss fight, it's just like an instanced encounter, just like in Diablo 3 and 4. And I just feel like that was something that I really liked about Path of Exile 1. I'd rather lose experience, but keep my boss encounter, have it retain the health that it lost. Or, that doesn't make sense. You know what I mean. So I know some people are saying that they really like it. I don't. I wish that we would just... I'd rather lose experience when I die and still have the monster's health at 50% where I left it before I died. So, I don't know, I guess it's a trade-off. I understand that the trade-off is that you don't lose experience anymore, but you have to beat the boss in one go. I'd rather lose the experience, and hell, even make us lose some gold, I don't care. I'd rather have that than have all my stuff reset on me again, considering how frustrating the combat can be on how slow it is. Now, having said that, like I mentioned before, the slowness is cool to a degree. I just wish that there was more to it. I like being able to understand the different monster mechanics of all the trash mobs you normally wouldn't think about. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, again, I know this is early access, and I'm giving, criticism right now, but that's the point of early access. I fucking love this game. I know I'm talking some shit right now, but it really, really is a great game, and I'm looking forward to playing it, even if they end up keeping this stupid boss thing and everything. I'm still going to enjoy the game. I'm still going to play it. But I really hope that they make some kind of adjustments to that, because that's just frustrating. It's already bad enough he died. Now you have to run back and deal with all of the trash mobs again, and, you get the checkpoints or whatever, but I don't really care for that feature. So that was actually the main reason why I made this video, was because of the respawning trash mobs and the bosses respawning all their health. So annoying. I wish they would change it, make us lose experience instead. I would take that as punishment. So, anywho, that was my rant. I just wanted to just put this out here, and I know I haven't done videos in quite some time, mainly because I just didn't have any motivation to do so until Path of Exile came along here. So that's another plus to this game. If it's getting me to do videos again, hell, this game's doing pretty well. It's really, really fun. I'm going to keep on playing. So please let me know, all 10 of you who've watched this video, let me know in the comments below what you think of Path of Exile. And do you think that I'm being too judgmental about the boss health reset and the monsters respawning? Or do you think I might be onto something? Anywho, please like and subscribe. I'm looking to do a lot more videos on Path of Exile and the progress of this early access. So, again, thank you all for listening, and I will see you in the next one. Toodles!